If all open doors were from God, if everything that seemingly looks good was from God, then the devil would not have so many tactics, He would not have so many victims. His schemes would have easily been traceable or detectable. The challenge is that sometimes we see open doors, we perceive every open door to be from God. And sometimes we perceive every opportunity to be from God, not knowing that even the devil disguises himself as an angel of light. All right. So we have been talking on this particular topic for some time now, or for some days now, and this is the last part. We have been talking about discerning God's voice beyond the audible voice and beyond prophets and prophecy. The first part of it, we talked about scriptures, where we said that scripture is God's voice in His word. If you did not watch it, please, I'll refer you to go watch it. It was really a great blessing. And the second part, we said it was about peace. We talked on peace. Peace is God's voice through inner weakness and inner witness, right? Of calmness. The third part, we spoke of a knowing, which is God's voice as an inner conviction or a prompting. Today we're going to talk about opportunities, how God's voice in divine openings and alignments, opportunities, God's voice in divine openings and alignment. And I began by saying that if every good thing and every opportunity meant or means God, then the devil would not have had so many victims, and he would not, his tactics would have easily been traceable. If good was God and bad was Satan, why would we make mistakes? All right. It's because there are always those gray lines, those gray areas where we get confused. At one time, the Lord laid in my heart, He told me that God doesn't operate within human concepts of right and wrong. God does not operate within human concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, God operates within the boundaries of His will, His good pleasure, and His purpose. Sometimes you might think that this thing is wrong or this thing is right, and you begin to justify. You think that you are fighting on behalf of God. You might think that, oh, because this person did this, it is wrong, and God should punish them. What you don't know is that they are actually walking in the will of God for their lives. Amazing, right? One day I was talking to this amazing mother of mine, and she said something that really blew my mind. Thank you so much, Mama. She said that you cannot define people's processes for them. I was complaining about something that someone is doing that I felt like was wrong. I was just not complaining, I was just talking about this particular thing that this person did, and I felt like, oh, this is not right, it's not right. Why is God not saying anything? And she said, blessing, you cannot define someone's processes for them. So sometimes what we call bad or we call wrong could just be a man walking in the will of God for his life. All right. So opportunities, God's voice in divine openings and alignment. Revelations chapter 3 verse 8. I set before you an open door no man can shut. Right. 1 Corinthians 16 verse 9. Let me open Revelation 3 verse 8 and read it from there. Let's not paraphrase scriptures. 3 verse 8, it says that I know your works, and behold, I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. I know that you have but little power, and yet you have kept my word. Oh my God. I know that you have but little power, and yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. Then we have 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse number 9. That was Apostle Paul speaking here, where he said, a great and effectual door has been opened to me with many adversaries. For a wide door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many adversaries. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9 says that the heart of man plans his ways, but the Lord establishes his steps. God speaks through open and closed doors. All right? I know when I said opportunities, you felt like the open ones. But I want to make you to understand that God speaks through open and closed doors. I'm going to tell you guys my story. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's true, and it's amazing. So there was this time in my life where God blessed me with an amount of money. I really needed money. So I have an online ministry on YouTube, And what happened this day was that there's this amazing lady who has been a part of my online ministry for some time. So she always sends me seed. Should I say always? She often is the right word, often. Like from time to time, she will send me seed. And one day she said, I received an email, with a reference number that says I have a deposit to go pick up. So I was so excited because I needed money that day. So I was so happy. I think the message came. I saw the message the previous day I was in church. I was so happy when I was telling my friends that, oh God, thank you. Look at this money. I'm going to take it now. Come on, sort out myself for some things. Until the next day I went to the bank only to realize that the reference number was empty. That's what the bank said. And the reference number is empty. There's no money inside. So, and then I called this lady that morning. It was 10 a.m. at my time, which should have been maybe some kind of earlier hours for her. I called her and she picked the call. That was very unusual for her, to pick the call at that hour of the day. So she picked the call and I was like, sis, you sent me a reference number, but I just got to the bank and they are saying that the reference number is empty. So she was like, oh, let me get to West Union and ask them what's going on. When she wrote West Union, they told her that they can only fix the problem, in 21 days, rectify it within 21 days. So she called back and said, oh, so sorry, but should I send you money? If you need money, I can just do a different transaction right now. So I was like, oh, I did not feel the go ahead to accept, right? So I just told her that, no, it's fine. I just came because I thought I saw this transaction from you. So she was okay. She was like, okay, fine. So I left and came back home. So disappointed, so sad, right? When I got home now, she started texting me. She was like, sis, oh, I don't know, but I just feel led to ask you this question. I was like, okay, fine. And she was like, do you want to buy a piece of land? You want to buy a piece of land? I'm like, oh, yeah. I've been thinking, as of that time, I was working at my father's company, an agricultural company as of that time. So I was like, I want to buy a piece of land, My plan was to rent a place, do agriculture there. We had gone through so much within that season. So I was planning on getting a piece of land, planting on it, harvesting, and then just having to for the company. So I was like, yes, I want to get a piece of land. But I told her that my plan for this piece of land was to, cultivate on it for a period of time and then later build a house on it for my mom. Guess what? She said, oh, yes, that's the same thing the Holy Spirit told me. Hey, I screamed because I just said those things, Yeah, I wanted to plant. Yeah, I want to be for my mom. So I just put those things together and said it because that was genuinely from my heart. But I wasn't even thinking that that's something she could possibly be also thinking about. So when I said that, when I told her those things, she was like, okay, so how much is the land you want to get? I was like, oh, I don't know. Let me get to the person who sell land or the land agent and get back to you. And glory to God, one of my brothers in church had been posting about lands. So I just went to him, took the document, the prices and sent forwarded to her. She was like, which one do you prefer? I told her, okay, we can get this one, one, because I was trying to be, respectful, understanding, don't I did not want to exaggerate the whole thing. So I was like, let's get this one and then it's gonna be okay. She's like, okay. Then guess what? She sent me money. That same day, she sent me money that was like 4 times more than the earlier transaction that I had received. And guess what? She told me that she did not send me any transaction earlier. And then we went back to trace that transaction and realized that it was an old message, an old email that she had forwarded to me some time ago. And I had already cashed out that transaction. So how it happened, I don't know. But that was an open door for me in that season. So sometimes it will come in ways that you don't understand. It will come in funny ways or uncomprehendable, unexplainable ways. I just give you my story to make you understand, all right? So that was what happened for me that time. So God speaks through open and closed doors. Opportunities can be prophetic, divinely set up for your next season. Just told you, right? Prophets often discern times and seasons by what doors God is opening. I think my father once said something amazing. Let me tell you something, a disclaimer, right? Sometimes you might be in a season, a season you might be in a certain season that God has appointed for you, right? But you go through certain struggles, to get what that season was supposed to bring to you. So, like, I tried to buy a car some time ago, like I think a year ago or two. I tried buying a car. I had so many professions around the car thing that I felt like, oh, let me get it. And I really wanted to get a car. So I gave the guy a down payment on the car. And I knew that because I had a prophecy about it, I should have favor, because that's one thing my father has taught us, that if it is God's will for you, you're going to have favor. You're going to find favor on it somehow. You're going to find favor on that deal. If a deal is from God and it's for you, you're going to find favor somehow. It might not be that you're going to get it for free, but they might have there might be an extension on the dates for you. There might be an extra consideration for you. Just how God decides to play it out. He determines all of those things. So when that car came back, they had to import it. It took some time to get here. When the car came, it came in a season where I was totally broke, really broke. The girl was koboless, penniless. So I feel like, God, if it is your will, why are you not just making it happen? Just bring somebody to give me the money. No. So at the end of the day, I could not get it. I had to sell it. I told the guy to sell it and then refund me, because I felt like I was under pressure, to get that money. But I learned one thing in that season, that sometimes we misinterpret things. God might say, I want to give you this, but he has not told you when he wants to give you, all right? And sometimes, a door might open, an opportunity might pop up, all right? Before you jump into it because it opened, make sure to check your peace. Are you at peace with that particular open door? Are you at peace with that opportunity? I remember during the same time, I had a conflict in my spirit, because I was considering launching a business with that same money. I had a conflict in my spirit, but I went ahead with the car. I wish now that I launched that business. Maybe the business would have bought me a car. So always check your peace. All right? Sometimes God might say a word, but you're not yet in the season for it. And also sometimes challenges or struggles doesn't mean it's not God working. Doesn't mean it's not the will of God. Check your peace again. You might be going through those challenges, those struggles, but you are at peace. That could be God speaking to you. That's God telling you that, oh, regardless of, don't look at these obstacles. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? So prophecy or no prophecy, open door or no open door, check your peace. That's the first way that God speaks, his peace. You know if this is of God, if this is not of God. And then while you do that, if you need further confirmations, then you can pray and seek, the voice of God when it comes to as a knowing or as a prophecy. But before you conclude, ask yourself, how does this thing make me feel? What was that inner witness within me? Is it peace? Is it fear? Because sometimes you might see opportunities that you think is of God. I earlier said that if every good thing was of God and every bad thing from the devil, then we will not need to struggle to find God's voice. Nobody would have been on the wrong side, because everybody wants to please God. All right? So not every opportunity is God, but God can speak through one. I've earlier explained, right? Check your peace, because peace is not just a feeling, it's direction. Peace is not just a feeling, it is direction. Check your peace. Not every opportunity is God, but God can speak through one. So pray through opportunities. Don't rush into them. Pray through opportunities. This is how you can evaluate if an opportunity is from God. Check the timing. God will not tell you that he's doing something else for you in this season, and then an opportunity that is contrary to what God told you comes, and you want to take it because they came to you, because they called your name. No. Check the timing. God will not tell you to go plant in this season. While you're planting, somebody calls you and says, hey, leave that planting. They are calling your name to go and work at. No, check the timing. All right? Check your peace. I earlier explained. Alignment. Does it align with the things God has been saying to you in that season? Yeah? Because the door opened doesn't mean you should jump into it. Does the thing, that open door, that opportunity? Because if God tells you He's going to do something, everything that comes to you in that season should help you accomplish that thing. So does it align with the things God has been saying to you in that season? Does it align with your purpose? Always ask, is this a voice, a test, or a distraction? Is this God's voice? Is this a test, or is this a distraction? All right? Always check your peace, because peace is one of the fundamental ways God speaks to every of His children. And each and every one of us have that ability to have that connection. I pray that this 4-part series has been a great blessing to you. If you're unable to perceive the audible voice of God, you're unable to get a prophecy, you can be able to discern God's voice from in these 4 ways. All right? God bless you. If you have not yet joined our community, please, I invite you to be a part of us, the Christian Village community. You can follow us on Facebook, the Christian Village Beyond Faith. You can follow us on YouTube, still the Christian Village Beyond Faith. And you can follow us on Telegram, the Christian Village Beyond Faith. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Shalom.